Hey everybody, welcome to More Than Meets These Guys, the podcast which is a journey from Transformers from the beginning of the animated series. But this week we're going back to the UK comic. This is going to be issue number 8 of the original miniseries that started it all, which is the second part of issue number 4 in the Americas. So we have this great comic, plus we have the amazing Machine Man comic, which I know you love, Boo.
Oh
And
yeah, can't
so
get
I am
enough Machine
enjoying
Man.
enjoying here this week with Boo of the AxonUnderground.com. And so we're gonna get right into it, man. Finish this mini series up. How you doing, man?
Oh, doing well, doing well. Looking
Great.
forward to getting out of the miniseries, getting you
Yeah,
into some
though.
new territory.
Yeah. Then again, I saw the little preview, which is going to come up to the end of this issue, to the next issue,
Oh
and
yeah.
it. I don't know if we're taking a step forward or backwards. I don't know yet. We'll see. But so this is the Autobots Last Stand Part 2,
Yes.
and there's actually editor's note goes into like talking about being like a new year, the next issues and the new story, and there's a Ravage fact file. They actually said his desk has become like this thing where he has a Transformers calendar up on it, so you can like map everything out. Which they have a little shot of at the end of the issue. It's kind
Yeah.
of cool. There's this bizarre letter from Captain Doodlebug.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know who this person is, but
He
anyways,
loves him some Machine Man.
yeah, dude, he loves Machine Man. Like, I came here to talk about how great Machine Man is. Well, he's Captain Doodlebug, so I don't know how much I give that, but he
And
also
he's
makes.
referring to one of the other, like an earlier letter from another fan, and he's like giving some pushback on like, "Hey, don't get rid of Machine Man."
Yeah, I know. And then he's like, well, you could also bring in another property like Micronauts or something. Yeah, it's pretty adjacent. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that was Microman originally, so
Yeah, exactly. So, which Micronauts was a Marvel property, so I could have easily done it.
oh yeah.
But
Which Migo grabbed it.
oh, is that who did it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Migo grabbed it before Hasbro got a chance to, but they didn't get the robots. They just got the original Microman figures.
Yeah, which is kind of disappointing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We have some pretty decent line art submitted by fans. Optimus Prime, one of the Seekers, I think maybe the Starscream, and I can't remember who else was in that picture. But yeah, just kind of cool art. It's nice seeing that building of the fandom and people's art projects. Trying to get ready for the book.
Oh yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, the cover has Megatron holding Optimus Prime over his head
Oh yes,
triumphantly. Okay. That artwork was done by Barry Kitson.
who's Barry Kitson?
Well, he worked on UK Spider-Man comics as well as
Okay,
2000 AD, and he received accolades for his work on Judge Anderson with Alan Grant.
huh,
Yeah,
nice.
and then he did covers for 5 UK comics for the Transformers
Mm-hmm.
and the 1985 annual, which I'm sure you have that. Like everybody
Oh,
has that 1985
yeah,
annual. Yeah,
very cool.
and he did the interior art for 9 UK Transformers comics, and actually helped plot 2 of the scripts, issues 59 and 60
Oh, the UK book.
of the UK Transformers comics. And Simon Furman stated that Kitson didn't care for drawing robots, so he tried to get Kitson involved with plotting
Uh-huh.
to unsuccessfully keep him interested in the comic. And then let's see, what else did he do? Oh, after this, he developed the 1995 Azrael comic with Denny O'Neil.
Nice. Okay. I
Yeah,
never read
and
Azrael, but I know of it. So
Denny O'Neil was the man credited with naming Optimus Prime.
yeah.
And Kitson worked on Batgirl, Legion, JLA Year One, Secret Invasion, the
Wow.
Fantastic Four section, Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man.
Wow.
So yeah, guy had quite a career.
Yeah, I'll say.
He just didn't like drawing robots.
Yeah, quite a career in like some of the more important arcs in a lot of these comics too, which is really cool. I mean, the Secret Invasion and Fantastic Four part of that was pretty significant.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, so man, let's get back into this. So the Autobots are all standing in tubes with wires going in them. They look like they're in like I'm trying to think of like the jars that have like little arcing electricity in them.
Oh yeah, the tubes of transference.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like they're all sitting in those things, or they look like they're sitting on a really bad set of like the this island Earth or something like that. With
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like the old sci-fi. You're caught in a tube, and we're gonna drain your brain out of you or something.
Except they are getting shot full of energy. So Sparkplug, I guess, came through.
No,
No, it was not Sparkplug.
no, they're just using whatever the others had left.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's why 5 of them came out. Okay.
yeah, they
It's
are.
just
They're in
they look like
dire
it's- yeah.
straits, so they're getting blood transfusions basically.
Okay. Yeah. So 5 of them come out. It's why you would put. Like, I guess Mirage is really handy. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
Man, the guy who keeps wanting to bug out with Ravage, which comes up again, obviously. Optimus
yeah.
Prime, obviously. Ironhide is a good choice. Blue Streak, who's a gunner, so that's a great choice too. And Huffer.
With the 2 of Encourage,
Yeah.
and then Huffer. Yeah, but they took energy from like Sunstreaker and Sideswipe and Brawn.
What? Why? Huffer. I mean,
Yeah,
go get some of the roads, dude.
I'd drain Huffer and Blue Streak in a heartbeat for any 2 of those.
Seriously. I mean, Braun's gonna beat the heck out of you.
And what about Prowler Jazz? They
Dude,
didn't
I
even
mean,
mention them. Like, they're
yeah,
not hurt,
they're just doing stuff.
right?
Well, as we find out, Jazz is off doing something else in the next issue, but
Right. Yeah. So
that's where they all went. So yeah,
yeah.
they're all jacked up, they're getting ready to fight, like, yeah, we can do this. They're all it's a little note saying that like they all kind of wonder if this is gonna be enough.
Yeah.
Which, come to find out, as Megatron blows a hole in the side of the mountain and gives him a chance to surrender. He's like,
Oh yeah. And he's got pretty much the full complement. That's Megatron, Starscream, Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, Frenzy,
Thundercracker.
Rumble, Thundercracker, and Skywarper.
Yeah.
All of it. It's like it's pretty much what everyone but Soundwave.
I think so. Yeah, I think Soundwave was pretty messed up from last issue, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Wait, Rumble's there because Rumble's pretty messed up also.
Yeah. He
Okay.
shows up. Yeah. At some
So,
point, I went through and listed like the ones that showed up during the fight.
But did Frenzy show up?
Yes.
Okay, I guess he wasn't as hurt as like Soundwave was. Soundwave
Yeah.
was. But so yeah, he's given a chance to surrender, and Optimus Prime is like, Ironhide goes, "Oh, hey, come on, what are we doing? We're doing hang out here. Let's go after him." And Optimus Prime's like, "No, that's what they want." So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Anyways, Laserbeak and Buzzsaw, shoot in the hole in the side of the mountain, which apparently the Ark is always embedded in a hollow mountain. Go
Yeah.
figure. So he comes in there. Laserbeak and Buzzsaw come in, and Mirage projects a Mirage. We used some Mirage in the TV show. Going invisible like a ninja.
Yeah.
But originally, just like the Rise of the Beast movie, he was supposed to be able to project mirages.
Yeah, he gave holograms, and he was like he displaced himself. So you'd think he was to the left, but he's really to the right.
So Laserbeak, goes and attacks the displaced image, and he realizes he's tricked. Mirage doesn't want to be there, and like basically he's like, you know what, I'm good. I don't even want to be here. And he leaves and go inside the Ark, but he's confronted by Ravage.
Yeah.
He's like, once again, he's like, hey, brother, we're both from Cybertron. Why are we fighting? And once again, Mirage,
can't we all get along?
Yeah, no, Mirage is like, I don't want to be here, man. Can we just go? Seriously. And Ravage just starts tearing into him, bites his arm and stuff. And yeah. And Mirage has dropped his rifle at this point also when he got surprised by Ravage. So he's trying to like talk his way out of it. But end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And
he shoots Ravage in the face.
Yeah, he basically says like, well, okay, this is the only way I'm actually gonna be able to get Cybertron because these guys don't want to help me. So he's like, I've got to deal with the Autobots, I guess.
It took Ravage biting his arm off for him to realize, like, maybe these guys don't like me.
He's like, man, these guys are crazy. Well, yeah, they hate you, man. They're attacking you. They're not. They're like, hey, you want to be friends? But
he should have snuck out when Megatron was asking for him to surrender.
Oh yeah,
that
seriously.
was his chance.
Like, hey, man, I'm cool. I'll hang. But the whole time this is happening, the Autobots don't realize that the probe has picked up a signal around this like a lava bed with underneath all this was once molten iron.
Yeah,
it's all hardened, And he's like getting a signal, and suddenly you see a purple arm go up and grab and crush the probe. But
Yeah.
since all stuff's going on, they don't realize what's going on there.
Yeah, they're busy.
Yeah, they're fighting. Yeah. But Megatron shows up to face Optimus, but Blue Streak comes out and fires all his rockets at Megatron. Megatron is like, "Yeah, is that it, little guy? That's all you got?"
Oh
Like,
yeah, and Buzzsaw talked smack to Optimus, called him old and slow.
because he couldn't shoot him.
Yeah.
They're feeling themselves right now. So yeah, Ratchet is wondering where Sparkplug is. Back in the hospital.
Yeah.
Ratchet's just hanging out in the parking lot and is like, all right, I wonder how he's doing. I hope he's okay. And these two EMTs are like, yeah, it's the last ambulance. We better take this one. He's like, he's a little squeak. And like, did you hear that? No, I don't know. And they basically steal Ratchet and drive off. And he's like, well, they mean well, so I'll go ahead and let them use me.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, he just rides up and, I guess we gotta do something. So But yeah, when Blue Streak hits Megatron, doesn't really do anything. Like right after that, you see Blue Streak's silhouette behind Optimus, like or in the panel before that. So it's like he just magically appears next to Megatron, and then Optimus just snatches Starscream out of the air.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, that's actually a really well drawn panel where you see Starscream like half transformed, and Optimus just has him by the foot.
Yeah. He's like, nope, and yeah, it's great because the nose cut, everything's kind of bent over.
Yeah,
it was really cool set there. And I think they're trying to get into the fact that it's like chaos in there. All this stuff's happening like all at once.
Yeah.
But,
and I mean, every time I pull out my Seekers out of like the box they're in, they're kind of shaped like that. The nose cone hanging down and the wings folded back. And
yeah, let me see. Let's see if he's going to do it right now. Because yeah, there he goes. My Ramjet.
Oh yeah, see, that's just their natural form.
Yep, that's just they're pulling the shrimp. They curl around. But back at the hospital, Sparkplug is in post-op and he's still dreaming. But this time of how he sabotaged the fuel and brake lines of the Korean captors until he was saved by the American troops. I mean, if this isn't foreshadowing, I don't know what else is.
Oh yeah, he imagines that they drove off a cliff because he never saw what happened to him, but he imagined like, oh yeah, those dudes are screwed.
the way the trucks drove off the cliff, it looked like something out of the Beetle Bailey comic strip. It was just silly almost, but yeah, he was like, oh, I'm dreaming. I'm like, glad to see you guys finally made it here with whoever saved him or rescued him.
Yeah,
but yeah, so he's recovering, and man, there's this whole this all happens there, and it goes right back to the Decepticons launching an all-out attack on the Autobots. Basically, it's telling you like he sabotaged the Korean trucks, but they were going back on the Decepticons launching the all-out attack, so it kind of gives you a clue what's coming.
Yeah, not heavy-handed at all.
No, not at all. Decepticons launched an all-out attack on the Autobots, and they're pretty vicious, man. Optimus Prime gets his right arm melted by Megatron.
Oh yeah. And then some more Autobots show up. Cliffjumper and Sunstreaker just appear with the group.
I thought Sunstreaker was dreamed or something.
Yeah, I guess he just wasn't going to sit back and watch TV or anything. He could have been watching that probe, but nope.
Something real bad's happened. I'm going to go in here and help.
Oh yeah, and this is when Skywarp and Rumble show up also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Buzzsaw slices into Mirage with his beak.
Mirage is getting cut to ribbons.
He is. He's like on his knees, like trying to hold up. You see Buzzsaws just go right through his head.
Oh yeah, he's messing him up. He ain't gonna be pretty no more.
And Ironhide is pinned down. They're like, oh, I think the Skywarp is. Let's see how much your name Ironhide is true or something like that.
Yeah,
Hide's really iron. So yeah,
and Ravage is helping him. So Ravage got over being shot in the face.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Like what was it? Metal something darts? Was a Mirage's weapon?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like metal shredding darts or metal melting darts on it. So yeah, Megatron goes after Optimus and overshoots. He like flips over him.
He does a Popeye, like the wind up and swing and just go flying. Yeah.
Yeah. He flies over his head. But yeah, so Optimus is like, well, again, Megatron's gone, hey, Ironhide, I got Ravage for you. But Megatron recovers, turns around, and like Ironhide's like, no, is it? Yeah, it is Ironhide. He goes, Optimus, look out behind you. Optimus turns around to get shot right in the chest by
Right.
Megatron, just squarely in the chest. And he proclaims like it's over at last, and he picks him up and hefts him over his head. And that's when Sparkplug's plan finally hatches. And
Yeah, he was giving his victory speech, and then he needed Pepto-Bismol.
he was about to monologue, is what he's about to do.
Oh yeah, he wasn't just going to finish Prime. He was going to talk to him while he had him there.
Yeah, he was. They all fall over in pain, like, oh, it hurts. Oh no. But man, we go back to the hospital, and like Buster's so happy to see Jesse and O there. And he's like, hey, you know that plan my dad had for the corrosive fuel spark, that he made for the Decepticons. And like O was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Was he just trying to reminisce about this plan that his dad had that he thought maybe O knew about? Or was that like he was referring to something else?
Yeah, I thought maybe he was just explaining it to him. I don't know.
O's like, dude, okay, whatever, man. So that's all happening. So we're back to the Ark, and all of a sudden, all the Decepticons are on the floor. Like there's like Mirage and Optimus Prime is standing there.
Oh yeah, and Reflector and Soundwave are on the ground with them at this point.
Yeah, where did they come from?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like fog of war kind of thing. They were do anything.
They walked. They just got there and fell over.
And Starscream forgot let him out of the cockpit. All right, all right. So yeah, Mirage is like, what happened? Optimus says, well, we won. And then they realize, well, obviously the human spark plug sabotaged our fuel, and he was really resilient. He really resourceful. Really appreciate that. They were all ready to burn him and kill him.
Oh yeah, they were going to string him up, and now they realize, oh, he won the fight for us.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, we'd be all dead right now. So yeah, good job.
Puffer wanted to step on him.
Oh yeah. Jazz uses wall of fire to burn him.
Right. Dude was the MVP.
Well, he sits in the hospital bed after having a heart attack from all being like eviscerated by all the Autobots, the good guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, suddenly the ceiling explodes, and Shockwave shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much where our cliffhanger ends. Like Shockwave is there, and it's like for 4 million years, I finally made it back, and here I am, and everyone's pretty much gone.
Oh yeah, and the bottom says not the end.
Yeah, not the end. But you were actually telling me you showed me some pictures of the false ending, like the
original ending. Yeah. When because they originally planned it just to be a 4-issue limited series, and when it really took off, they realized, hey, we need to keep this going, so they changed the page so that it wouldn't be the ending.
Yeah, essentially, Shockwave never shows up, and they all like, hey, we won. This is great. We can all go back home. Everything's fine now.
Yeah, Optimus gives his big speech.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
together, as Autobots and humans together, we did this. We triumphed, and the Decepticons are no more.
Yeah, pretty much. And then that was it. That was going to be the end of the series.
Yeah.
But thankfully, it did really well, so they carried it on further.
Yeah, and one of the best Decepticon leaders out of the comic shows up.
Oh yeah, I think he actually led longer than anybody else.
Come on, even longer than Ratbat? It's Car Wash of Doom?
Oh yeah.
That is one of the worst stories. There were some bad stories in the
I can't wait till we get to that one.
Is it actually in the British one?
Yes.
Oh my god, because there's Buster in there. Okay.
Yeah, well, so pretty much all the US comics show up, and then there's these filler stories in between. Now the next story we have coming up is not by Simon Furman. He hadn't joined yet.
Okay.
So we'll go into that on the next issue though, because
there's a single shot of like Jazz coming out of the trees, and this kid's going like, no, not that, or whatever. And Jazz looks so much like his toy that he looks like he's immobile.
Oh yeah, and there's reasons for that too, which I'm saving that for the next.
Oh yeah, please
podcast on that, because there's a lot of details.
I actually
Tied up
have
in
not
that.
read it yet, so I'm really excited. I've told you, like, I read a lot of the early UK issues because I got into a lot of the later ones, like 2006,
Mm-hmm.
so on, where like a lot of the season 3 Transformers really came into it, and it like loops back with the original ones. Big Time Wars stuff, all that stuff. I was really into that. I found my old issues of it, actually, my trades, but I don't know these early issues, so I'm kind of interested to see what these are like.
Well, you
Especially
may have read the next one because it was actually reprinted in the U.S.
as the fifth comic.
Oh
I think
no,
so.
as issues I want to say 33 and 34.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the Man of Iron.
I'll have to look. It's been a while since I've read that. I like we read them all a long time ago.
Yeah.
At this point, though, a lot of times I go back and read the hot notes, like I'll read my favorite issues or series,
Mm-hmm.
like the Matrix Quest stuff, or I'll read a lot of the later UK stuff, or I'll read some of the wackier, stupider comics,
Yeah.
like saving Optimus Prime on a floppy disk,
Oh yeah.
things like that. So yeah, I don't know if I've read that one for a long time. It'll be interesting to check that out.
Yeah,
Actually,
it was definitely out of continuity,
yeah,
but like I said, when we cover that one, it actually does fit with the continuity. It just didn't. It was out of time, like out
yeah,
of
I gotcha.
order.
And I would be,
So
hmm.
we've got your favorite comic coming up, though. The
Yeah,
man who
yeah,
could walk through walls, Machine Man.
back to Machine Man. I gotta say though, this is this Machine Man feels very much like I don't know, like those '60s black and white I don't know, exploitative sci-fi movies.
Yeah,
This guy, and he looks like he's wearing a bathing suit for the '60s, right? Dude's bathing suit, like the long short things, or like a
yeah.
wrestler, or like, I don't know, a juggler or something at a circus.
This is definitely there would have been a Roger Corman movie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
And
this may
they're
even be like a trauma film if it popped up in the 80s.
uh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, this could have been a Toxic Avenger movie.
they, yeah, I mean, they bring him in, and he's like, hey, he's going in for this experiment. He's gonna, he's volunteered himself to, do this experiment, and he's
Well, it
like, oh,
starts out with politics, though. Senator Brickman. He's
yeah,
mad that a busload of kids didn't die.
I don't, I miss the context for that.
Yeah,
What?
he was just Machine Man's making him look bad,
Yeah, because he
and
saved the kids.
yeah, and then he's pulling it, kind of a real world factor creeping in that oh, AI is going to take away our jobs. So he's mad about it. Back in the 80s, he was mad about it. So his goon Fred suggests linking Machine Man to unemployment, and Brickman shoots the idea down and then steals it. Like, oh yeah, he talks himself into using the idea, but it's his idea now, not Fred's.
Yeah.
And so he's going to use Machine Man to scare people about automation and how robots are going to steal everybody's jobs and make people starve.
Well, at the time, though, real world factors. At the time, well, not we, as in like myself. A lot of people were scared that automation on like assembly lines is going to replace everyone working.
Right, because that was a big thing in Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the automakers were being replaced by robots.
So definitely real world factors creeping into the comic.
Oh yeah. And
Uh,
so he kicks Fred and Archie, his goons, out for not being helpful. And they think he's crazy. And they decide just to swing by Archie's brother's lab, who is Dr. Hiram Goldsmith,
yeah,
aka
Goldsmith.
Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, before they go to dinner, they're just gonna swing by there, and then they make fun of Brickman's Machine Man ploy. And yeah, at the lab, that's where you meet Barry Witherspoon,
Yeah. God.
who's the guy that's getting his density changed.
Yeah. Barry Witherspoon looks like I would say Ricky Schroeder, if Ricky Schroeder was like big and beefy.
Yeah.
Like I mean, look, he looks as Aryan as you can look. He does.
He's
Long
like
hair.
grown up Michael Anthony Hall.
He does.
Yeah.
Except if Michael Anthony Hall took better care of himself. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he did build up his density, so
Yes, he did. so so he's in this machine and he's there with his kid and his wife and stuff. They're like, "Oh, don't worry, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine."
oh yeah, they're begging him not to do it, and he's like, "Well, I haven't worked in a year, so I'm gonna let this guy experiment on me."
Well, if you wouldn't keep hiring Machine Man to put all the heroes out of work and put them on the bread lines and automation and blah blah blah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, and
But
so Dr. Ham is pulling mass from another dimension and saturating Barry with it. And I mean, this is basically what we describe in Transformers now as like the mass
that's
shifting.
shifting. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, so I guess it kind of started in Transformers, but not really. I mean, the explanation for it.
yeah. It was real. It was that very heavy fictional sci-fi wibbly wobbly explanation stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, wasn't
But
there was a guy in like the Hellfire Club that did that? Was it Leland? Was that his name?
I don't remember enough about them right now.
Because he did it to Wolverine, and Wolverine just like went through the floor, and that's when they had the big
Yeah,
Dark
that's
Phoenix.
right. No, that's why.
Yeah,
That's the thing I remember about him. I don't remember much else about him.
yeah, because then he fought his way up through the basement and chopped up all their guards, who later became the Reavers. Yeah,
Fun times.
yeah, good. Better comics.
Yeah, by far. That's a low bar to be better than this.
Oh yeah,
But suddenly Barry has no thoughts of his own anymore. He's a blank slate almost. And he just walks through a wall like his paper
yeah,
because
yeah.
now
He's lost like his will. Like he'll do whatever you tell him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's so dense now, walls don't stop him anymore. That's some hard science there. You know,
he,
I
he's so dense though he'll do anything you tell him to do, which that's
yeah,
kind of the opposite of dense. So
he's the density of a dying star, but he'll do everything you say. Like, dude, that sounds dangerous.
right.
So yeah, the plan starts to come together.
Yeah, they're gonna try to help the senator discredit X-51 with super dense guy.
Did they ever give him a real name?
Oh,
Density Man or something? I don't know.
yeah. They just said the man who could walk through walls is the only
That's what it
title
was.
to this. Yeah, so that's a
Which
really long name. So
that
yeah,
sounds that is like the brain that wouldn't die. That's like old 60s, 50s, 60s like science horror kind of titles anyways.
I think anything they named him would sound like that. Like they call him like Neutron Man or Density Man. It's gonna sound like a Mystery Science Theater
Yeah.
episode.
The man who could walk through walls.
Yeah.
Screaming terror.
Oh, so yeah, they have to use that special amplifier to get the commands to him because I guess he's so dense he can't hear normal speech.
His earwax is denser now, so he can't hear.
Right?
His
They needed Q-tips.
hairs in his ear are denser now. Yeah, you try a Q-tip, it just breaks it suddenly. Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, Peter Spaulding has Machine Man put on display of his strength to try to show everyone that he's no threat to people, which that's gonna have the opposite effect. Hey, look how strong I am, I can really wreck stuff. Yeah. In fact, the reporters turn on him and start writing articles. They actually say they're gonna write articles that he's a threat to human employment. And one even states he's afraid of losing his job to some robot who can snap a photograph.
And
Which
dude, he goes full on Inspector Gadget or like Dynamite here.
oh yeah.
Oh man, the extending legs and all that stuff. It looks so bad.
It's really hard to take him seriously with
It is.
maybe if we'd never seen Dynamite, it would seem cool. But I really think Dynamite ruined Machine Man for an entire generation.
I mean, dude, honestly, Inspector Gadget did it better.
Oh yeah.
Come on. Can Machine Man pull roller skates out of his shoes? No. I haven't seen it
He
yet.
doesn't have a helicopter in his hat. Oh, he kind of he he does have like those little gadgets that do pop out.
Yeah, I guess.
So yeah.
Can he use his hand as a phone? I don't think so.
It's probably just built into his head.
That's
But yeah,
cheating.
there's one of the earlier issues that I have. When I found that collection is he looks like his legs have turned into a Segway.
So yeah, he's
I
done.
would say that was like issue 2 of Machine Man.
He seems like he's like if Plastic Man and Dynamite had a baby.
Yeah, I could
Yeah,
definitely see that.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see it, but you can't
Oh,
unsee it
you're
now.
going to see it now.
Yeah.
It's in your head now.
Oh
You're
man.
gonna wake up at 3 a.m. going, oh.
So yeah, in his disguise as Aaron Stack, Machine Man tries to go back to his insurance company job where Maggie Jones tries to vamp him. And he turns her down and places her on a bookcase and tells her to kiss their coworker Eddie instead. And Eddie makes fun of her. So she gets so mad that she just declares that he's doomed.
That was so melodramatic.
Oh yeah, and just out of nowhere. I mean, like now she'd have a meeting with HR.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh,
Come down to HR. We need to have a talk with you. Like, well, I didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's it was so weirdly melodramatic though. I made no sense to me, but I don't know.
I
Maybe
mean, what is there to like about this guy? I don't even. Maybe it's his cool shades.
Is that it?
That's all I can figure. Because I mean, he doesn't have the personality for it.
He's got those Plastic Man shades.
He kind of does, actually.
Plastic Man had better shades, man. He had a better personality, better sense of humor. Well,
Oh yeah, there's
sense
some.
of humor.
Like I said, that newer Machine Man, the Imposter,
Uh-huh.
he has a lot of Plastic Man vibes to him.
He does. I think that's why I liked him more.
Yeah.
Plastic Man, if you're really, I'm sure you read some of the comics. He was a jerk.
Oh yeah.
He was a massive jerk.
I saw one not too long ago. It was in an out of text comic panel on Facebook, and yeah, he basically turned himself into a dress for one of the female superheroes. And when
Nice.
they realized like the colors on it, she like reached around and started just choking him. His head popped out. And she just starts beating the crap out of him.
Perfect. No notes. That's
Yeah. So yeah, Archie and Fred dress Barry, the man who can walk through walls, up as Machine Man and use him to rob a bank, framing X-51.
He's the man who walked through walls. So of course he walks through the wall of the bank.
Right.
Has anyone ever seen Machine Man just do that? Just walk through a wall?
Well, and how's that gotta like hurt their mileage hauling him around if he's so dense? It's like you put him in the back of the van, it should be like bottoming out, right? If he's that dense. It's got some really good suspension on it.
Yeah, I guess so. And honestly, though,
It's got better suspension than my suspension of disbelief with this comic.
much more solid.
Yeah. So they the cops go to, X-51's friend Peter, and he won't tell them where Machine Man can be found, so they go to arrest him.
I love
And then
that.
Machine Man tries to leave, but Maggie's stalking him outside the window.
There's this great panel where he's on the phone with Peter. Peter, he's on he's on a telephone. I don't know where he got the telephone, like a cord going. Oh yeah, to the table. He's like, Peter, I swear I've been here all night. I'm sure you have, Aaron, but this doesn't look good. He's doing the full extended out, like he's just like stretching his legs and his arms or something, his like full extensions. It's bizarre. He's like he has nothing to do at home except stretch or something.
I mean, yeah, I guess there wasn't anything good on TV.
Yeah.
You couldn't watch like Welcome Back, Kotter or anything.
Yeah,
Happy Days wasn't on.
he's on the phone like someone's obviously impersonating you, but whoever it is incredibly powerful. And someone's at the door. I wonder what's going on. Yeah, it's such a bad plot.
Oh yeah. So then he hunts him down and catches him at a jewelry store, and they go to fight. Machine Man tries to electrocute him by grabbing the power lines. So I mean, I guess he's just trying to outright kill the guy right off the bat. It's like, hey. And he's got to be careful with that, because last time he grabbed like power lines and stuff, he created a bunch of like cosmic beings.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Who like basically say we're above you, we're gonna leave now. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember I actually tried to read this one. I got pretty far through it, and there was like he was talking about this high frequency. Is that something that Barry gives off?
It's that amplifier that
That's what it is. Oh, okay.
yeah,
The fire
yeah, the amplifier so he can hear them, and he can hear it too because he's
machine.
Machine Man.
Yeah, he can do anything. He's X 31,
X-51,
X 51. He's X 51. Obviously, he can do it.
right? He's in the 51st percentile. So anyway, so he gets knocked out, and Barry, Fred, and Archie escape, and the cops arrive to find Machine Man just waking up next to the broken wall at the jewelry store. He has no jewelry on him or anything, but they're like, "Nope, you're under arrest. We got you red-handed," and he has like nothing on him for just a broken wall.
Yeah, it's a pretty open case there, detective.
Yeah, I mean that fits a lot of crack police work there. So,
what did he wear black clothing? Was he a Satanist? Yes. Oh well, he's obviously guilty.
right?
Is that pretty much where it ends off there?
Yeah, that's where it leaves it to be continued, and then we have Matt and the cat.
Which I guess the cat gets beamed up to a ship, and then he like starts like trying to figure out what's going on with him, and he sees this like weird dome thing on the ground that turns around. It's a robot with all arms.
Yeah, he just wakes up like the little short half spherical robot.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Matt and the cat. It's just
the pacing is very slow in that strip.
Yeah. He was kind of pissed off because he's like, "Hey, I could have been by a fire, all cozy and stuff. You beam me up here, fine." So he just starts wandering around and looking around the ship, and yeah, there's this little half spherical robot on the ground. It looks kind of like the helmet of a Cyberman.
Yeah,
with
I can see
like
that.
springy arms. It's not real good.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not real good at all. But yeah, so luckily Machine Man is caught, so he's gonna go to prison. We don't have any more issues with this, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you backed me up there.
Well, speaking of Doctor Who, though,
Yes.
K9
Yes. So the robot roundup,
yeah, he's the focus of the robot roundup on here,
which is cool. Something I can actually I can appreciate. They have the little picture of him with the TARDIS and Tom Baker on the bottom right of the page, which is really cool. I'll put that on obviously be on the YouTube. K9 is one of those great holdovers from Tom Baker's time as the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice to see him brought into the was it the 10th Doctor, and a little bit with that. Well, actually, with Sarah. Oh God, I feel terrible now. I'm forgetting her name.
Sarah Jane.
Sarah, yeah, Sarah Jane Chronicles.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's right.
Yeah, they had. Well, it was like a kids show. Like at that time, they had a Doctor Who that was like the mass audience.
Right.
The Sarah Jane Adventures is what it was. It was basically like a kids version
Mm-hmm.
of Doctor Who, and then you had the Torchwood, which is the adult version. So yeah, Sarah Jane Adventures. K9 was prominent in that. So it's kind of cool seeing him like last this long.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because he wasn't ever meant to be a recurring character. It said, yeah, so he was just so popular that they kept him.
Yep. And there were how many versions of K9 were there? He getting rebuilt or upgraded or whatever. So he was around for a while, and honestly, it was just a radio controlled car with a dog costume on the top, and it worked. I mean,
I'm surprised they haven't tried to sell those in like toy stores still. Like with the upgrades, like they have all the little robots and stuff. Like they got the robot raptors and stuff like that. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a K9 that can like talk to you.
Yeah, well, that would be all the adult collectors to go get it, and the kids won't have a clue what's going on. So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, the adult collectors with all their money.
That means they could charge like $300 for it.
Or with that self-transforming Grimlock, $1,500 for it.
Oh, I know. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. But we also talk about Alpha, this robot. It has like a phonograph recording thing of its of sounds and things it'll say.
Yeah.
It looks like someone made this in their garage. It looks janky. It looks like someone put headlight lamps on it, on the front of it and stuff, and it sits in a throne. There's this picture of it. What is it holding? It's holding a he's holding a majestic pose, it says. He looks like he's in some like pharaoh throne or something. It looks so weird.
Well, and they advertising was like he could read the newspaper, but really he was just reading a recording of the newspaper, which he's not reading anything.
Which, I mean, honestly, if you ever go to the Disney World, you see like the Carousel of Progress. You have the animatronic of the husband sitting there reading a newspaper and talking about current events or whatever. It's the same kind of thing. It's just
it's totally
nicer. But yeah, it was really janky looking. Really makes you appreciate how good K9 looked, even though looked kind of crappy, but compared to that, it looked great.
But, and The Naked Computer by Jack Rochester and John Grants predicted that orange pickers would never be replaced by robots. Like this mentioned there. And then right now, there's like numerous companies that use produce robots that detect citrus fruit if it's ripe and harvest it automatically. Like, so everything that, this guy was saying that robots wouldn't be able to do, they're already doing. They've been doing them for like 20 years.
Yeah, actually, with I work in the wine business, and of course we have they actually hire a lot of undocumented workers to work the fields and stuff. They have harvesting robots and basically machines that go down and will harvest grapes off of vines and stuff. And it's one of those points of pride when someone can say like, yeah, we hand harvest our grapes. It's like a selling point now. It's not like automation's great. Like, we're not using robots, we're using people. Now, I don't know how to talk to the people, but we're using people. Yeah.
But yeah, one of the robots is actually from the University of Florida.
Not surprising, actually.
Yeah.
Orange picking robot.
Right.
They actually do a lot with AI robotics down at the University of Florida. And considering they are down in Gainesville, orange picking seems right at home.
Yeah.
Not surprising at all.
And then in Robot Roundup, they point out that robots are barely as intelligent as a 2-year-old child. I'm like, that's giving a lot of credit for like 80s robots.
Yeah, I mean, 80s robots, the thing of that is you can program it to be as clever as a 2-year-old. But I mean, 80s robots were, they were basically like whatever you programmed into it, or as with Alpha, you have a phonograph that does.
They're just going to repeat.
Yeah.
Just recently, we started to get AIs that could actually converse better than a 2-year-old.
Barely. But then again,
and they'll lie to you.
Yeah, they will. Or actually it's not too far off. They're just repeating what you say. That's a 2-year-old, and talk about a 2-year-old and see what it picks up.
Oh yeah, they'll parrot it back to you.
Yeah.
There was this, but ChatGPT has like a warning on it now that it hallucinates. It doesn't give you factual information. That's what they're calling it, hallucinations, when it just makes stuff up.
Hallucinations, really?
Yeah.
So it's actually being like a kid. It's grown up now. It's like a teenager. It starts lying to you about stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I asked it the other day. I was just messing around with it, and I asked it like, who's the most dangerously unpredictable Transformers character? And the answer would be Galvatron. Well, it came back with Starscream.
See, I was actually going to say Starscream, but so.
And that's what it said, because Starscream's such a traitor. But I'm like, well, Starscream is predictable in that he is going to betray you. You can always count on that. True. And we had a little conversation about it, and it's like, that's actually a really good point. And apparently it looked up Galvatron and says, oh yeah, and since Galvatron is insane, and you have no idea if he's gonna, hit you or, compliment you. You never know what he's gonna do. So it says, yeah. And then it pointed out in the multiverses, it got into multiverses and said, yeah, and some Galvatron isn't quite that crazy, and Starscream would definitely be the more dangerously unpredictable one. So it had a pretty good conversation about it.
It's kind of impressive, actually. What episode was it that Galvatron had kind of was it Web World, where he kind of got fried a little bit and had this moment of clarity?
Oh yeah, that was Web World.
Web World, yeah. At that point, in like you come almost see all the synapses line up right, and that's I think he's more dangerous that way.
Oh, totally. He wrecked
Yeah,
that whole planet after that.
yeah, he did. It's still one of
that
the
that's
best
my favorite
episodes.
episode out of the whole cartoon series because it's almost like Cyclonus and Galvatron have like a Butch and Sundance
You
relationship.
do.
Yeah.
My favorite things. This is a tangent, I know, but one of my favorite things of that episode is where the aliens have cyclists sign things in triplicate. He's like, what are they doing?
Oh yeah, they're going through. Oh, this is for therapeutics and parts and labor, like the
Yeah.
car.
Cyclist is like, okay, man, whatever. Yeah, that is the bureaucracy of it, then and the just the fantastic therapy.
I'm really hoping those show up in the new Image comics because they seem to
Man,
really like season 3.
yeah, I can't
So
wait.
yeah.
Be nice to do like a I don't know. We're gonna have to wait, I guess, for a while, but so good. Yeah, there's some great ones in season 3. There's some really bad ones in season 3, but so yeah, I could see like a Cyclonus and or not Cyclonus, Galvatron being dangerous in that way. Like you don't know what he's going to do. He's chaos.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Starscream is just going to take advantage of every situation he can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see, he beats up Scourge and Cyclonus all the time, and those are the only guys that actually look out for him. You know, and then like somehow, Octane, he was going to execute Octane, and yet Octane shows up after that,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, I guess he just changed his mind. It's like, yeah, I can't predict that guy at all.
No, the fact that that's an abusive relationship, man. Scourge and Cyclonus look out for him, and he beats him up. Even like Scourge tries to tell Cyclonus, like, we can't do this anymore. He's crazy, and like Cyclonus is like, oh, fool, you would defy our great leader. Scourge is like, man, whatever. All right, cool, let's do this. It is such an abusive relationship. It's really good.
Oh yeah, even in Web World, like Laserbeak is like getting on Cyclonus about it.
Yeah,
It's like
there's
Motormaster Swindle and Laserbeak confront Cyclonus about it. Like, man, when Laserbeak's sick of it.
you got to do something about this dude. I don't care what you do about him. You got to do it now. Man, people who gave up after the movie and they didn't really give season 3 a chance really missed out on some great storytelling.
Oh yeah, well they did a lot of character building
They
in
did.
season 3.
I mean, even in like the burden hardest to bear,
Mm-hmm.
which there's a lot of silliness with that episode too, like the whole dojo thing. But really built up, Hot Rod or Optimus Prime, why he was the right leader because he didn't think he was worthy of it. And but anyways,
Well, that's kind of where he got robbed, I think, after that, because it seemed like he'd finally come to terms with it, and then they decided to make the parents happy.
yeah, literary
Yeah,
campaign.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things to say about how I liked the hero's journey part of Rodimus because he was the leader that we actually got to watch grow up. Optimus Prime was already a leader for millions of years. Rodimus Prime though he wasn't. He was the
Well,
he was so
and like Rodimus was who they were actually going for because they wanted to have that those characters that were, I guess, equally shared between Takara and Hasbro.
yeah
So basically, what we got for season 1 and 2, that was just a holding pattern. That was just to keep us interested until the real, like, highly profitable toys came out.
yeah the ones actually they created.
Yeah,
How
and
much?
it didn't work out as they planned,
Nah,
but it was always the plan to have those guys coming out because that's why the movie was being written when, like, before the first episode
yeah.
aired.
And
So,
why people always ask the question why Superion and why Minosaur and all these things didn't show up in the movies because they had already written that movie long before those showed up in the show.
oh yeah, those guys weren't even approved. And then you see like early versions of them, like the character models, the Stunticons would have been Autobots,
Yeah,
and
which
Skylinks would have been a Decepticon, and then they had the Anabots, which became the Predacons later. So yeah, they went through a lot of changes.
yeah, Flora Derry though really I love how his style from the movie on, had almost a very the style was very had a lot of curvature to it, a very like less blocky like from the original lineup.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, he had more organic curves
Yeah.
to the characters. I would really like to see like Cyclonus, Scourge, and Galvatron done like his original sketches where they have like all the open parts and you can see all the mechanisms and the clockwork stuff inside of them.
Yeah, actually, I would have loved to have seen the sweeps with the first version of the movie where they have that single red eye.
Oh yeah.
They were I would love for Hasbro Selects to make a version of those, and also the Junkions who looked like they had Kaiser helmets on.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
And rails. We need rails.
Rails. It was like
The train snake.
yeah. That is. I'm glad they changed it because it makes so much more sense. That sounds like it was a lot in a movie.
Oh yeah, they had a lot going on just in that. I mean, if you look how many pages there are,
Yeah.
that's like a trilogy of movies right there.
Definitely. So it was cool to see all that stuff. I'm glad that Jim Sorensen and McFeely brought up that stuff and like gave us kind of the behind the curtain of what happened in the first draft of the movie.
Yeah.
So that was great to see.
I think maybe after you and Ed do the movie,
yeah,
we should take a deep dive into that first draft.
Yeah, it'd be great because
that'd be a multi-part because there's so much to it.
Man, I seriously I would kill to have some of the Kaiser helmet Junkions. They looked great.
Oh yeah, they did some crazy stuff with that. Like the whole story was different.
The Matrix where you had a little mini version of the Ghost and
oh yeah, in the jar. Yeah, because it wasn't even the Matrix then; it was just Optimus Prime's life spark.
Yeah. this Optimus Prime, this ghostly green Optimus Prime, this I guess was like a capsule or something.
Yeah, it says it's like a bottle or something.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
He's a genie in a bottle.
Right, and it turned Magnum into Ultra Magnus.
Yeah. I'd like to get rid of that over and have some time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be great. But anyways, yeah. So
yeah.
Getting back to this, there's a little more Machine Man at the end here.
Oh, now we finished Machine Man.
Oh, we did. Okay, I'm like looking.
We have some more Robot Roundup though.
Okay,
a little bit.
You know what? I somehow got back on back in the comic a little bit.
Oh, okay.
We went on a long tangent there.
Yes, we did. But yeah, they're talking in 1984. The most expensive robot works repairing underwater pipelines, which is worth about $677 million. Which adjusted for inflation, that'd be like $2 billion now.
I mean, considering what that does and how it's hard to work those depths as a human, this seems pretty good, like a great investment, honestly.
That's about the same price as what we paid for the Perseverance rover on Mars. It's $2.7 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you're working on things that deep, I mean, this is the reason why the Deepwater Horizon was such a problem, because it was so deep in the Gulf. So we can't actually work at those depths. So you need something like a robot or a submersible, to work on things like that. So good investment, I think.
Oh yeah. And then I mean, talking about expensive robots, Google tried their own competitor for Chat GPT called Bard. And yeah, and it did so poorly that it actually cost the company $170 billion.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's an expensive robot because their stocks tumbled because of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, there's the Bing AI bot. There's Chat GPT. There's several of them out there. Chat GPT being the most popular.
Oh yeah, and there was a big upset in OpenAI this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of shakeups there.
Well, and did you hear where their CEO and co-founder went? Because apparently they fired their CEO on Friday and then spent the weekend trying to negotiate him back into the company after they fired him, because the co-founder quit too. and then Microsoft snatched them both up. So now they're in charge of Microsoft's AI research, and apparently a bunch of OpenAI's guys are going over there with them. So,
it's you gotta know who's working for you, how valuable they are.
right. So I think that's going to be expensive for them.
Yeah, the long run, yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this comic actually I was telling you earlier, it finishes like almost like an episode, except for the whole shockwave thing in the end.
Right.
If they didn't do the changed ending where it like continues on, it wraps up like a typical episode.
Oh yeah, with the Optimus speech that we won the day, and
Yeah.
we need to go forth and try to go home and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it ended the way the More Than BCI #3 did, really, where they're all happy and Spike's writing in his journal about they're all the world powers are giving them the energy to fly back to Cybertron. But
yeah, it definitely had that same feel.
Yeah, except the fact that well, I don't know. This is nice because it actually just it changes the ending, because we were talking about how it originally ended. Change the ending, but with like More Than BCI, like we were talking about before, it just like, oh yeah, that didn't happen anymore. This is what's happening to the show now. So I kind of like that they try to fix it in post with this one.
Oh yeah, and well, I mean, the whole arc that follows this, when you get back to what we've read in the American comics, was really good.
Oh, the Autobots are all dead.
Yeah, I mean, that gave us one of the best covers we ever got.
I would love that as a poster. I don't know why we don't have that as a poster. It's a really pretty painted cover with Shockwave in a good pose.
Oh yeah.
Usually the covers are Neil Yomtov colored and pretty bad, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that final page in the original ending, basically he's apologizing for Sparkplug, or to Sparkplug. He goes, "It grieves me to recall that many of the Autobots called him a traitor. Perhaps the best apology we can give him is to redouble our efforts to protect this planet and its people.
Yeah.
For the evil that motivates the Decepticons will not be vanquished by this one victory. We have won the battle today, but the war against such evil must go on." And it's just the end. And it was those last two panels that they replaced with the giant explosion from above.
Did they replace the probe being destroyed?
I don't know,
because
I think that was probably added too.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I think that was probably
the lead in, and that's why no one reacts to it in the main story.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems like it would have been thrown in there in the middle also. Well, okay. Well, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And the comic here, it's kind of funny. There's an advertisement for like the Epic comics, magazines.
Yeah.
My brother, when I was younger, would get those. There were these huge, actually, they were kind of the size of the UK Transformers comics. They were like almost like magazine style, comics. Epic comics. Really well drawn. I've seen remember them being very, I don't know, heavy metal style art. And at the end also there was a little advertisement for Spidey watches, which whatever. So yeah, I'm really interested to get to the next issue and see how that goes. But like I said, I may have already read it, but I guarantee you I haven't read it for years, so it'll probably be all new for me again.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll be all new for you.
I can't think of the last time I read, because I got the trades of all the the American the classic ones when they came out. Instead of reading my old issues, I'd rather just read the trades.
Right.
So,
they're easier to handle.
Yeah. I don't feel like not worry about ripping them or pulling the staples out. So I probably haven't read that thing in a good 20 years. So it'll be like all new again. That'd be kind of nice. Anyways.
Oh yeah, well, and a lot of these, like I said, if you haven't picked them up in a while, it's nice to refresh your memory.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we'll go ahead and close it here. Thanks everyone for being here. Ed, unfortunately, this week he's feeling real old, so there's that. And we should wish him to get better soon and feel better and all that kind of stuff.
Feel younger soon.
Yes. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate, or if nothing else, get in line at 3 a.m. at the Walmart to get your TV. So, anyways, yeah, have a great weekend.
You don't need a good reason just to eat a lot. I mean, anybody can do it.
Dude, we're doing duck this year. I'm excited.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. No turkey. No turkeys. All right, y'all. Take it easy. Have a great week. Thanks so much for being here.
Bye.